Welcome to Puro Pinche Sports. I'm your host, Jose Garza, and tonight I am joined by Trigger J. Parker, the Professor Alex No Show Picture, and Jeffrey D. Lujan, aka Dildo Lujan, aka the Dog Lujan, aka I still can't believe that the Trey shaved his beard off. There you go.
And it's not growing too fast.
It's here. It's almost here, baby. It's almost there. I told Chris I'm gonna keep this messy look with the mustache, and
It's rapidly growing as fast as the Patriots' chances of actually getting a win this year. So, but anyways, we don't need to talk about some National Football League. We can start with some NCAA football, gentlemen, because the college football scene is heating up right now, and who better than our very own Professor Alex, who has yet to say a word to us, to kick it off and just talk about the college football scene. Alex, are you here?
What's up, guys? Yeah, man. We had some interesting. We had an interesting week of college football, and then right now we just got our rankings up to date, and I'm not too mad at the rankings that we got. One big shocker was Ohio going down 4. That just made me think, like, if Alabama beats Georgia, will they do the same thing to them, and will they drop out of the playoffs? I don't think they'll do it, but I'll be pretty pissed, like, if they were not to do it. You know what I mean? Because just because they're Georgia and they're a big name, I feel like the committee was going to keep them. But I mean, like, Alabama right now is one of the teams that you don't want to play. Obviously, they lost to Texas early in the year, and right now they're probably one of the hottest college teams right now to play. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. So we'll see.
Alex, do me a favor. List off the top 8 teams right now in the scene.
Right now, you got Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, Washington at 3, 4. You got obviously Florida State, and then you got Oregon. You got Ohio that jumped 6. That went to 6. Texas at 7, and then at 8 you got Alabama. So all those 8 teams right there, maybe not Ohio. I don't know why they're at 6 right now, but they could all have a chance to make it. I think Alabama has a long shot because they're gonna obviously if they beat Georgia, they're gonna have some help in front of them. Some teams drop, so we'll see.
Why don't you like Ohio at 6?
I mean, I get it, right? They lost to a really good team in Michigan. I don't like that they dropped 4 spots because that just puts the committee, the college committee, in a bind if Georgia were to lose this week, because that means you would have to do the same thing to Georgia if they lose, because Michigan and Georgia are pretty much one to the top teams, right, in Big Ten. So you look at the you look over in the SEC, and it's the same thing with Georgia and Alabama. So, like, if Georgia were to lose to Alabama, then you're gonna have to do the same thing what you did to Ohio State. So that's why.
Jeff, I know you're a big college football guy. I don't know, like I said, you were busy this weekend, so I don't know how much you got to really watch. I know the Tulane UTSA game was a big thing for you to watch, but what do you think about the college football scene right now? The picture with the top teams.
Yeah, I did get to watch college football on Saturday. I was watching the Michigan-Ohio State game. It was very exciting. That when Michigan won and they rushed the field, they said they had like the highest attendance or some shit. It looked crazy out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think what they're setting up for, if Alabama does beat Georgia, I don't know. I think Georgia is going to stay in the top 4. I think that's what they're setting it up for. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Georgia handle business, because then, they're going to want to put Alabama in the top 4. And then how are you going to put them in there without Texas being in there when Texas beat them in Tuscaloosa? So it's real messy, right? So I'm hoping Georgia handles business, handles Alabama, just so it doesn't get too messy here in the top 4.
Man, can y'all explain to me, and Jeff, I'll start with you. I know Alex kind of explained it on the text thread. Why the hell is FSU being overlooked as far as potentially being a top 4 team despite being undefeated?
It's because their quarterback went down, right? He had a gruesome injury, so they're with their backup quarterback. I think he went down 2 games ago. They were able to beat last week. I forgot who they played some team, but yeah, they have to play for the ACC championship against Louisville, and Louisville's 10-2, and they're a tough team. I think they did lose this past week, but without your starting quarterback, that's why they had dropped them to 5, because even though they were undefeated, everybody, the other 4 teams were undefeated, but they didn't have their starting quarterback. But if Florida State does win and they are undefeated, they're going to be in the top 4. There's no way they're going to be able to sub them out with all these one-loss teams. So that's the big reason. It's your starting quarterback goes out. It sucks. It's at the end of the season, and they still might make it. And they're that good of a team that they probably will. But that's going to be a tough matchup against Louisville.
Trey, of the 4 teams that are looking looking to get in, which one to you was your favorite to more get in? Ohio State, Texas, or okay, you got your answer there.
There you go.
And why, Trey? Why? Just because we're Texas boys ourselves, or what?
Bitch, I'm from Texas. No, honestly, I like UT a lot, bro. They're a big, explosive team. They're actually starting to get their name back. It was kind of cool to see Arch play a little bit, even though I didn't want to, but whatever. But Ewers has actually been doing a pretty decent job. So it's just exciting again to watch them play compared to what it was the past couple years. That's why I want them to. I think they're a sleepy number to get in. So,
and Alex, before we go into more about the college playoff scene, I did want to ask about that. Archie Manning did come into play after a blown out game essentially against Texas Tech. But what future does Texas have? Because we hear that the rumors that Ewers wants to come back next year, right, for his junior year. But the plan is to go Archie Manning next year. So what do you think so far? Because I know you kind of had your interpretations about Archie Manning.
Well, when he came into UT, I said Archie hasn't really played in a competitive environment. I think he played in Louisiana in high school, so he wasn't really in these elite eights camps or anything like that. It was good for him to go into Texas and sit redshirt year. So, but for him to for his future with Quentin Ewers, if he were to come back, I could see Archie actually transferring.
Really interesting.
Yeah, because in years past, these Texas QBs never want to leave.
No,
right? Like they want to do their whole 4 years and bring a national championship. And Archie's too big of a name to be sitting on the bench for
another year.
Yeah, for another year,
I agree.
essentially losing out on in a year of eligibility unless he gets hurt. So, but yeah,
why not? Why wouldn't Ewers potentially be the guy to leave instead? Wouldn't Texas kind of pressure to keep Archie because he'd be bringing in more the viewership, the money, essentially, stuff like that.
I think as the head, as a coach, if your guy is like a top pick in the draft, then yes, you would push your QB to go make that money, unless you want to run it back one more year. I don't think Quentin Ewers is a top QB choice right now in this draft, with this draft being so loaded. And it would actually benefit him to sit one more year, come back to college, and maybe bring his name out more. You know what I mean?
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, having a Manning in your building kind of just seems like a simple thing to decide to do, because despite that, maybe he's not currently better than yours or whatever, he's going to bring more eyeballs and he's going to get more publicity and stuff like that they're going to kind of want, right? Yes, they're a football team and they're, but they want those eyes. And the more eyes you get, the more popular you get, the more money comes in. And I think that's what Texas is really going to go in for. Let's bring in Moko. Where the hell is he? There he is.
What's up, foos?
What's up?
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Chilling, man, chilling.
That's good. That's good. What are y'all talking about?
We're talking about some college football right now.
About Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, just real quick, because Texas is going to be in the SEC next year, so
Yeah.
Texas does have that decision, right? If viewers want to come back, do they feel like they have a better chance to be competitive next year? That first year in the SEC, it's fun to like be good that first year, because I heard like Archie wasn't as good as people expected, but he does have that name, the Manny name. So Texas kind of have to make that decision, let his players know, because of course that name, someone's going to be trying to poach Archie quick, right? Just for the name. And give them a chance somewhere else. Everybody needs a quarterback, right? So, that's where we're at, Marco.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting topic because the whole talk about Quinn Ewers, is he a top 5 quarterback? And if he were to be going into the draft next year, would he be a top 5 quarterback? Would he even get picked up early? And I don't think so. I think he fits that system well, but I don't think it'll translate well into the NFL. At least not right now. I think it'd be smart of him to take another year, especially now with like NIL and stuff and being able to get paid while you're playing college. It's a different type of a decision now than it was before, right? Because before it was like, you know what, I'm going to go to the NFL early and get paid when you're getting all these deals especially as a big player at a big school like Texas, a very famous school. I think it makes that decision a little bit easier. So I definitely think it'll be in his best interest to go back. And I feel like if they do go back, and a lot of those players, which I think most of that core, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I think some of them will go back, and that's the big key of that team now is their defense and the way they've been the last couple of years. Now it's kind of all come together and not been as mediocre in the past year. So they've definitely turned it around, and I think because of the defensive side of the ball. But I think UT, if they keep their players and Quinn Ewers comes back, I think they'll make a run. You're muted.
My bad. It's echoing here. Anyways, I wanted to ask. Obviously, big games y'all bringing up earlier. They're going to determine who wins it all. So I want to do a little pick'ems for this weekend's championship games.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
So I do, and I don't. You're not getting an answer from me. I don't have enough knowledge of this shit to be answering this shit. But I know this is an awesome topic for y'all, everyone who does watch college football. I did catch the Michigan or Ohio State game this weekend. Fucking badass. Okay, so first game up on Friday is the Conference USA Championship. New Mexico State versus Liberty. Trey, who do you got?
How the fuck you go to me first? I don't know college like they do.
That's why I went to you.
Oh, God. I'm going to say Liberty.
All right, ranked team. Good choice. Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah, those are, New Mexico has been surprised this year. Usually they're not that great, but Liberty is strong as well, right? Liberty. So, man, I'll say New Mexico pulls the upset this year.
All right, and I do want to say that Trey, go back to you first. Trey, Liberty is a -10 favorite in this game.
Told you. I don't know college football.
Liberty's good.
So you picked them to win. Do they cover?
The 10 on it?
Yeah. Right? You need at least a 10. 10.
I give her a 10.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah.
All right, Jeff, do they cover?
I don't think they cover.
They don't cover. Okay, New Mexico State keeps it close. Got it. Marco, who wins, New Mexico State or Liberty?
I think Liberty wins and add 4 to that cover. So 14 points. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I think they kill them. Okay. Fucking brown.
This man just so sister a little bit there. Trey, not Trey. Alex, how about you?
I like New Mexico, but Liberty's undefeated for a reason. But I don't think they cover at all either because New Mexico's going to give them a dogfight.
Okay, I like that. All right. Main event for Friday is the Pac-12 Championship. Number 5, Oregon versus number 3, Washington. Arguably another game that might determine who gets into the top 4.
The rematch. This is why I say Texas might have a chance because these guys are going to beat. They're going to basically.
Somebody's going to beat each other out. Yeah.
Trey, starting with you again. Who wins, Oregon or Washington? And Oregon is a minus 9.5 favorite.
9? Damn. Fuck, dude. I really want to go Washington, but man, the way they kind of played this last weekend was kind of suspect.
It's rival week, so
I know. I'm gonna go with it. Fuck it. I'm going Washington. I'm gonna say no, they don't cover the spread though.
Okay. Jeff, who wins and who does Oregon cover the 9.5 spread?
I think Washington handles business again. Do they cover?
That would be plus
I'm gonna
9.5.
go. Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
They don't cover. Okay, Marco.
I think Oregon wins it, and I think they don't cover. I think it's going to be probably like a 3-point game. It's going to be a close game, a dogfight for sure.
Alex.
I'm gonna go Oregon. Bo Nix is gonna be the Heisman winner this year, and I say they do cover. I think Oregon will cover.
Well, they say that's what they say. The Heisman's on the line on this game.
Bo Nix is that dude though. I ain't gonna lie about that. He's nice.
Alex, talk to me about Penix Jr. Talk to me about him.
I mean, he's put up, the same numbers as Caleb, right? And he basically came out of nowhere. Nobody really expected him to do much there, but he's been balling out this year. And I mean, granted, he is playing on a really good football team. So, what more can you expect from him? And he outplayed your boy Caleb. So,
I mean, to be fair, that
better team,
that USC team is ass. To be fair, so we don't know about Lincoln Riley's defenses. Come on, so let's be a little fair. Let's be a little fair.
Hey, Alex is toxic, bro.
We're
toxic.
We're gonna talk about his toxicity later. That's for sure. That's
Alex toxic.
All right. Next up, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Number 18, Oklahoma State versus number 7, Texas. Trey, who do you got? And before you go, Texas is a minus 14.5 favorite.
These spreads are crazy.
All right, so you got Texas. Do they cover?
That's a lot, bro. I'm gonna say no, bro. That's a lot. Like that's a big ass spread.
All right, Jeff. Who wins and that winning team cover?
Yeah, it's a lot of choppy on my earphones, but do y'all hear me clearly?
I got you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, I think Texas wins and they win big. They're trying to make their statement that they're going to make the top 4. They're going to.
I'm not mad at it, bro. I'm not mad at it at all.
Marco.
Texas wins big and they cover.
Alex.
I like it.
Let me just say we're like maybe a couple plays from seeing Oklahoma versus Texas again in the Big 12 championship.
That would be insane.
It was really close. Oklahoma State pulled it off, But I'm gonna go Texas, and I also do think that they are gonna win big against Oklahoma.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff, are you here with us still?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. All right. Next up, the American Athletic Championship, AAC. SMU versus Tulane. Tulane's a minus 4 favorite. Trey, who do you got?
I'm going Tulane. I know SMU plays pretty well, but I think Jeff kind of mentioned this like a week or two ago. I know Tulane's pushing hard because they're transferring conferences, so I think they want to finish with a bang. So they're gonna hit it hard, and yes, they cover.
Cool, Jeff.
Yeah. So the big news is, and I didn't know this until I was reading an article. SMU and their 50-14 win over Navy, their starting quarterback got hurt, went down with a bad leg injury. So they would be favored in this game, but because of that, Tulane's favored by 4, and yeah, they're going to win. SMU's with their backup quarterback for the last game of the season.
That sucks.
Marco?
Yeah, it sucks.
Tulane.
Do they cover?
I think with the I don't think they cut. I think they cover. Just say they cover. Tulane covers.
Okay.
Like you said, it would have been a close game if the QB wasn't hurt. So
Gotcha.
I think it's going to be a pretty I think they're going to go in there and handle business and they'll cover.
Alex.
I'm also gonna go Tulane. They always have some good prospects on that roster. They always have a good guy come out to the NFL. So I'm gonna go Tulane. They're gonna cover the spread.
Cool. All right. SEC championship game. Number 1 Georgia versus number 8 Alabama, and of course the reigning champions Georgia are a -6 favorite. Trey, do you bite and go for Alabama, or do you think the champs keep on going?
I think Alabama. Actually, I'm gonna take the underdog on that one. I think it's gonna be a tight game, but I'm gonna go Alabama. For some reason, I have a feeling that they're pissed off where they're at right now, and they're gonna come swinging.
They covered that +6.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say a field goal to win it.
Jeff, you're muted.
You're muted. You're muted.
We can't hear you.
Damn.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, now I'm going with Georgia. I think they handle business. Alabama is running good, and you got to admit this is one of the weaker Alabama teams, even though they're fucking only got 1 loss. I think, with the experience that Georgia has in playing Alabama, I think they're going to handle business and win the game and cover.
Marco?
I think Alabama had a close game against Auburn, and Georgia's a way better football team than Auburn. So if you want to compare that right away off the bat, so I think Georgia will win, and I think Georgia will cover.
Alex?
So in the past couple of weeks, I've noticed that Georgia has been starting off pretty slow off the gate. Got a little rhythm into like the second quarter. But I'm gonna go Alabama because you can't deny Alabama's one of the scariest teams right now in college right now to be playing. They're the hottest team.
Wow. All right. Well, that leaves for 2 more games. The ACC championship game between Louisville and Florida. FSU is only a -2.5 favorite, Trey. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go FSU, and I'm gonna say they cover.
Jeff?
Two is nothing. So.
Yeah, I think Florida State's going to just mess everything up and win. And, they're going to cover and beat Louisville.
Marco?
I think Louisville gets the upset and doesn't cover. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think they'll end up winning.
Wow.
That's my underdog pick of the day.
Alex?
I like Florida State. They have a really good defense, but I think just not having JT there, you see them struggle against the Gators this past week, offensively. So I'm gonna go Louisville in this one.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have a mixed bag here. I like it. And last one, main event of the night. Big Ten Championship, number 2 Michigan versus number 16 Iowa. Trey, what do you got? Oh, I'm sorry. And Michigan's a -23 favorite.
Yeah.
Michigan's blowing them out of the water.
I'm going to say they don't cover the spread, though. I know that they're a monster team, but 23 is a fuck ton. So I'm going to say no, they don't cover.
All right. And I think Jeff will be back in just a bit. Marco, who you got in that game?
Michigan, I think they cover. I think they're going to ransack that team. It'd be
Alex?
kind of embarrassing.
I'm gonna go with Michigan, but I won't be surprised if this game is super low scoring. Iowa's one of those teams that year in year out they're always gonna have a defense, so it wouldn't be shocking if it's like 17-10 or something. It's Big Ten.
Gotcha. No worries. All right. Well, that's all I got for that. There was Alex. Did you have any more you want to talk about college football? I know Michigan's up there. We can talk about the game between Michigan and Ohio State. Actually, let's go there before we move on to a different league. Talk to me about that game, Alex.
You saw a lot of big NFL prospects in this game. It sucks that Marvin Harrison Jr. wasn't able to get a win.
Yeah,
might be his last college football game, and then just like Ryan Day, he's just had the bad luck or the bad end of the stick in these games, especially against Michigan or even the big games. And some people are calling for his name or his coaching job, because he can't win the big one. It was just to me, it was just one hell of a game. As a fan.
Trey. Now that touchdown to Wilson, I believe it was Alex. Correct me if I'm wrong. Third quarter, the one that was controversial. You remember which?
I think it was a third quarter.
The one where he throws a touchdown, beautiful between the two defenders, right on the money, but he doesn't end up with the ball coming up after he scores. The defender actually has the ball.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
And I know the broadcasters, they really thought that it was actually, it ended up being a fumble into, or it wasn't, an interception essentially.
I think he considered it an interception. Yeah.
Did you agree with that from the scenario from the replays that you were catching?
Man, I know, like right away, it's like a bang bang play type deal or whatever you want to call it. But in my mind, if you come down with the ball, like let's say me and you were coming down with the ball together, and I end up with it like in the end zone holding it, clear as day, that's on me. Like that's my opinion. Now I get what their thought is, right? He had control. Tie goes to the receiver type deal, like in baseball type shit. But I don't know, bro. I don't like that. I think whoever wins that battle should get the ball.
Gotcha. Jeff, we're talking about Michigan versus Ohio State. You have any thoughts about the game?
Are you talking about that one play where, he caught the ball, got the touchdown, but then they stripped it from him?
Yeah, it was like in the second quarter. I thought it was the third, actually second quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, now that was a crazy play because it even had me confused. I was like, man, I thought, so he did have control. He crossed the plane, right? So it's a touchdown. And then when he goes to the ground, the guy strips it from him. So, yeah, it's a weird play. I don't think I've seen that before. So that was an interesting play for sure. Other than that, it was just an exciting game. Michigan held out. It was just good. But, that play was probably the play of the game. I liked it.
No, it was a banger. And, Marco, I think you saw the game as well. What were your thoughts on Ohio State's performance overall?
I actually didn't watch the game. I couldn't watch it. I really wanted to watch it, and I was rooting for Michigan to win. So I'm glad they won. But, I didn't get to watch it.
So how do y'all feel? I mean, anyone can go first. Brian Day, obviously, he took over after Urban Meyer. Hasn't really been able to establish that big win, right? Like we're talking about now, it's 3 years in a row they lose to Michigan, and that's one of the big things, right? Urban Meyer always shut down Michigan, always shut down Jim Harbaugh. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh is not on the sidelines right now because he's serving a suspension for his, alleged cheating. I don't know if it's actually been fully confirmed or not, whatever. But I know he's been suspended for it. But what are y'all's thoughts on Ryan Day overall? Does he have a future still with Ohio State? Or how small is the thread if he does have slight chance of still being coaching there?
I'll go first because whenever Jim took over Michigan, he was in the same boat as Ryan Day, right? Because he was about to get the boot too because he couldn't win the big ones either. But Ryan Day walked into a fire because Michigan was already in the mid of building up their team. So and whenever Urban was there, Michigan wasn't this talented at all, like the way they are now, the way Jim stacked up this team. So I don't know. I kind of have a little leeway compared to him and Urban Meyer. Like I said, Urban went to Ohio and his teams were always fucking stacked. Not to say that Ohio's team's not stacked now, but compared to who they played, like in Michigan, like I think Ryan Day is playing a way more competitive team than Urban Meyer did whenever he was there.
Gotcha. Anyone else got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think Michigan I would say whenever a couple years ago is not. I agree with Alex. I don't think they're at the level of competition that they are now. Like now they're a powerhouse team again after a while. I think that program has taken like a lot of leaps here, especially in that conference. So in the sense of Ohio State when Urban Meyer used to be there, I think it's light and day. I think the competition's a lot tougher. So I agree with Alex.
Trey, Jeff, any thoughts? None?
No, they pretty much hit it on the head.
Gotcha. No worries there. Alex, just to remind me, is Jim Harbaugh able to be on the sideline this weekend or no?
Yes, I think he comes back from a suspension this week.
It is this week? Okay. I didn't know if it was or not either.
And do you think it's his final year in college football?
I don't think he's gonna want to leave because he's the man right now in that program, and why would he jump ship to basically start all over in the NFL? As much as I would love for him to jump into the NFL, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It was the same thing as last year. We heard talks of him jumping, and same thing. Why would he leave if he's already built this team? And
What if he wins a national championship?
yeah, no, I don't think he'll leave either.
Who's more favored in y'all's eyes if they go into the championship game, Georgia or Michigan?
Georgia.
I think Georgia easily
For
because
sure.
of the resume they have.
Yeah, I think Georgia's the strong favorites.
Three-peat, right? Is that they win it? Three-peat?
Georgia's the new Alabama right now, man. They're a powerhouse.
Well,
That's why I like this talk. I mean, I get the whole talk with Alabama. Like, I get it. Like, seeing them get a win over Georgia would be absolutely nuts. But at the same time, I think Georgia solidifies themselves as the front runner, the powerhouse, the what Alabama used to be. And it sucks, right? Because you're so used to seeing Nick Saban and the Alabama team like every year get with a championship, like be in that spot to be competitive. And it seems like, they have a lot of recruits and a lot of things that have changed over the last couple of years where Nick Saban has lost those key players and to go to Georgia or to go to these other places that are maybe offering more money. I think the NIL stuff, really changed a lot of things for a lot of teams, especially for a team like Alabama, because before it was like Alabama was the team. If there was no money involved, it was just like, well, no money involved. And now it's like an nobody involved, but I think it's like an even playing field now. So I think that program has gotten hurt a little bit. I don't know if y'all agree, but if you want to see it from that standpoint.
No, definitely.
well, we could definitely talk about some lack of nasty. Last Wednesday, we saw the Spurs host the Clippers. And
Stupid.
Coach Popovich did one of the weirdest things possible.
So cringe.
Kawhi Leonard is on the free throw line. He is getting booed like every away team player would be at the free throw line. And Pop gets on the microphone and says, "No, don't do it. That's not you. We're better than that." Now, one of us really didn't like the fact that the Spurs booed this man named Kawhi Leonard. Alex, can you share to us why, in your eyes or in your belief, that we should not be booing Kawhi Leonard in any
Well,
way?
the way you started off is saying a player from an away team. He's not just a player from an away team. He was one of the key players to bring championships to San Antonio. I understand that championship to the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, I understand that you guys say that, oh, we paid for the tickets, this and that, but without Kawhi, you guys are not a 5-time championship.
We got
Kawhi,
4.
yeah, but you guys wouldn't have won the 5th one. I mean, still like who was the key player in that championship run? Honestly,
Corey Joseph.
That was a team. It was a team, but yeah, the Finn
what I
LeBron,
mean,
he was one of the key players for sure.
yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I'll let everyone else
I
rebut after you.
But then again, like you see it the other way too, because the way he left, you know what I mean? That's probably one of the main reasons too, because the way he left and the way he left a sour taste in a lot of you guys' mouths, like the way he was. I guess his uncle was bringing the ownership down. You know how they were treating him, and then he essentially does the same thing, right? And I think with the Clippers,
Uncle Dennis has been a plague rumoredly with every team that Kawhi's been with Toronto, during the free agency after they won the championship that Uncle Dennis was asking for a lot from Toronto, which is basically why in the end they really didn't offer him as much as I guess they didn't accept the contingencies that Uncle Dennis wanted. And apparently the Clippers, they were willing more to bend over to Uncle Dennis's demands. Allegedly.
But then this is where I get like kind of confused because I understand. A lot of people were saying, well, it's because of the way he left. Did Tony Parker not leave? Like, I'm not saying the same way, but like,
no,
he left because he knew he wasn't going to get no playing time, right?
No, he left because he was going to be coming up behind DeJounte Murray, and he felt slighted by that. That was the only thing. Other than that, there was really nothing of us saying we don't want you here anymore, anything like that. And then he goes to Charlotte, and it's the same fucking shit. So really,
why not boo him? You know,
because Tony didn't talk shit about the city, the team actually, not the city. Kawhi, to be fair, Kawhi never talked shit about the.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Tony never talked shit about the team.
And Kawhi was in his prime, right? And Tony was done. Like that's a big thing.
Okay. Yeah. And I want to point something out too, because I think it's key to know. And Pop was talking about, that's not the type of organization we are, blah blah blah, all this other bullshit that he said, which honestly kind of pissed me off. And I think that's the first time in a very long time that I've been kind of mad at like Pop doing that. I get it, Alex. You're saying like, why are we like the guy helped us bring a championship? Like we should respect him. We should do this. We should do that. But at the end of the day, what he did to us and the way he left, because I think the way he left was very childish. I think it was very like not communicating, doing all those things. It was like a little girl move. And then you left and did that to us. I think that hurt a lot of us. And you saw it across the team that it hurt a lot of us. So for me, I think it's more so the fact that he didn't show us respect at the end. So when you come back into our building after you did what you did, I think it's a matter of us showing like, hey, you didn't show us respect, so why should we show you respect? Yes, you brought you helped us bring a championship, but at the end of the day, you don't walk out on people like that, and that's my only thing, right? Because say what you want to say, he could whatever problems that he had with the front office, he could have been like, you know what, I'm having problems with the front office. I love y'all. This is my time is up. But he never said anything. He didn't come out and say shit at all, nothing. So I think it was very disrespectful. And if they want to get mad about us booing, well, sorry about it. We're probably gonna keep booing.
Trey, you want to go, Trey, before me?
Sure. No, I mean, I honestly like the booing. It's in all sports, right? No fans love the other team, no matter who they are. Now, obviously, this circumstance is a little different because he's an ex-player. He did win a championship with us, so on and so forth. But it's just, I don't get it was so cringe to watch that. Like, just weird. And I hated it. And like Marco said, it was like one of the only times I was like, Pop, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
The whole Spurs fandom has basically turned on Pop. To be honest,
so what it seemed like.
If you look at Spurs Twitter, they hate him right now.
Everybody.
A lot of people really hate him. They
don't doubt
retire because if you've gone this soft, and Alex, I think that's one of the biggest trepidations of the whole thing. Is like, look, Pop, how are you gonna talk about us being respectful? Motherfucker, you're known to the media for being disrespectful. Like to them, right? To the media, not to the players or anything like that. But you're going to tell the fans who do work hard to go pay and sit in the arena to be able to cheer or boo or whatever the fuck they want to do. Because it is our hard-earned money.
As long as it's not towards a player like
we're not threatening his life. We ain't trying to like cut him at the knees. Zaza already did that. We're allowed to boo. Like simple as that. It doesn't matter if he helped us win a championship. Patty Mills helped us win and he wanted to leave when he did. But he didn't leave in a bad way. Tony Parker, like you said, he wanted to leave because he wanted more minutes. Okay, cool. You wanted more minutes? That's fine. If that's how it is. But you didn't. These guys who communicated with the organization, with Pop and everybody, they didn't leave on bad terms. I don't know if you know this, Alex. Pop flew to San Diego to meet with Kawhi. Kawhi only gave him 5 minutes.
Yeah, like have some fucking dignity.
He gave him five. He gave
I
him.
don't fucking know.
He
bro.
gave him 5
No.
minutes, and his answer was like, "No, I'm good. I'm out. Please trade me. I don't want to be here anymore." Like Pop flew to you, and you don't give him more than that. Like that's the kind of shit. Like we were like, "Come on, man." And look, I'm not saying we're perfect, right? No fandom is perfect. That we have enough
We're
Spurs
pretty
fans.
fucking close, bro.
No, I don't know. We have Spurs fans out there who were threatening Kawhi's mom his first game back in San Antonio as a Raptor. So those are the fans that I will not associate with. But at the end of the day, Alex, I don't give a fuck if you helped us win a championship. The second you wear another jersey and you're trying to beat us, we're gonna boo the fuck out of you. But Pop, you can't do that, bro. You just can't be asking the fans not to boo. It's the free throw line. What the? That's when we boo the loudest. Like, come on. So, I don't know.
Bro, soft.
All right. Well, I just want to start off with Kawhi, right? So Kawhi, like, to tell you all the truth, when he wanted to leave, I wasn't that mad at him. I know the city was mad at him, and he did do some disrespectful shit. But Kawhi's different, right? He's not like a normal guy, right? He's a little different. But anyways, I kind of saw his point. He wanted to go home to his family. He wanted to go home to his mommy, whatever. And then if you were like a young, rich NBA star, I would want to be in LA too. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, yeah, like I want to win and stuff. But I can see they want to, like, not everybody's all about that, right? Some just want to go live and have fun. Like James Harden. Let's say James Harden. And Kawhi, being so good, thought he could just do it wherever he went, right? So then, yeah, he left. And then I went to that Toronto game, his first year back, right? And he was in the East, so we only play him once a year in San Antonio. And yeah, we booed him the whole game. And we booed him all the way to the end. And I wasn't even going to boo him, but then when I got there, I was booing him too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck
and,
him.
I got it out of my system. Like, it was just a fun game, right? But I think what's happening, and I'm a little like what Jose was talking about the Spurs fans. I've been a little down on the Spurs fans of how easily they've been giving up on Pop. Like, Pop, to me, he's done his share. He's won his 5 championships. How can you lose trust in him? And yeah, he might be getting soft, but I just saw something on Twitter about Derek White and how hard he was on Derek White, and how good Derek White is now. Look at the DeJounte Murray. He's still a very good coach. He develops these players. He might be soft on us, but don't get me wrong. He's been hard on the players. He's already getting to Wemby. He is a good coach, and I just can't believe I'm hearing get rid of Pop and this and that.
That's crazy.
It's insane to me. I think Spurs fans have been spoiled. And obviously we have been spoiled, and it's just so hard to go to where we are now, and we want to be mad at everybody. And then COVID hit after Kawhi quit, and then I think some of these fans haven't even seen Kawhi at a Spurs game. Since he left, but now more fans are going back to the games, and now they want to boo him. And, whatever, that's fine. If they want to boo, I wasn't too mad at Pop. I think he's kind of dude, it's been fucking 4 years, I think, right, since he left. It's been a while. Get over it, move on. But, people get to the game, get all drunk, and, just want to have fun, whatever. I can see both sides.
I'd boo him sober.
Jeff,
Yeah.
But Jeff,
Fuck him.
But Jeff, the thing that's weird is that he did during the middle of the game.
I've never seen something like that.
That's
during the opponent's free throw session, line session, that's kind of stupid. That's kind of stupid.
He grabbed his mic and just started. That's a little.
That's why I said it's super cringe, bro.
Excuse me. Don't be nasty. That's not you. Come on, what?
No, but I guess you're right in some sense. It's been 4 years. Okay, we should get over it. But bro, when people do me,
it's 5 or 6.
people do me wrong, bro. Nah, man. Especially we grew up Spurs fans. We're that's our team, bro. When you hurt us, we have not had someone do that to us in all these years. Ever do something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who's done something like that?
Primo.
No. Okay, well, he's touched his way out of the team. Okay.
Yeah, we were used to our superstars staying, right, David?
And now he's
Tim.
Kawhi's teammate.
No. And what I'm saying is this dude created a whole narrative because he had no leverage. He had no leverage at that time. Created his own narrative with his family to get himself out of the organization. That's exactly what happened. he fucked a made up, and from what I've heard and from things that you've heard over the course of the years is that he created this narrative to get out. You know what I mean?
But I'm not mad at him because to tell you the truth, I feel like we dodged a bullet. Right? He had that degenerative, like knee injury. Obviously, he's not as good as he used to be. That knee's it's going to be a problem for the rest of his career. I'm kind of glad he did leave. Because then like in these past years, he would just be on the bench hurt anyways. You know what I mean? So
I don't know, bro. He brought Toronto a chip, dude.
He did win that next year, and he played hurt. We would have been good for a couple more years, of course.
If you've heard Jeff, the East is weak, so maybe we wouldn't have made the final. So
that's true. That's a good.
East is weak. And then he got lucky, right? That Golden State, they were all hurt, right? Clay was hurt.
Clay, KD.
Steph was the only one there at the end. It was like, okay, you won, just to rub it in our face. But it was like, it took a lot of things. Like, you made it from the East, whatever. But and then he just got lucky as fuck, right?
Yeah. So, Alex, does that make you feel any better or not?
Alex been there just chilling.
I mean, like I said, I still, like Jeff said, man, like it's been 4 years. Like it's been a while. So why fucking still boo this guy?
I don't give a fuck, Alex. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Kawhi, and I'll fucking boo him all my life. Fuck him.
And now he is gonna get booed forever.
I mean,
forever.
I mean, Kawhi even said it, dude. Like, and this is why it's so funny that, like,
I hope he gets hurt.
Like Alex, you and other people are like, don't boo him. He won y'all a chip. Kawhi said, well, as long as I'm wearing another uniform, they're always gonna boo me. But whenever they see me in the street, they're always friendly as hell. Yeah. So
it's a game.
It's part of it. It's part of
it. It's a sports game,
That's
bro.
True. It's literally like
because if I saw Kawhi in person,
baseball, bro.
If I saw Kawhi in person, I'd be like, hey, let me get a pic, dude. I'm fake, dude. I'm fake as fuck.
and he's cold. He's cold in real life too. He will not take a pic with anybody.
Yeah, no, he won't. I've heard people that have seen him like out. No, like though he was just
ain't having it.
He was just.
But that was another thing I heard was about Pop. Felt bad for Kawhi. And maybe with that team in shambles, maybe he's trying to work Kawhi back in. Trying to get him back to the old Spurs team. For a little run.
I mean, he's only going to be playing with one leg. It's just like Jeremy Sohan only played with one arm.
Yeah, no, but I definitely think like at the same time, I think it comes to a point where maybe we should get over it and just move on. But at the same time, I don't think I can, man. That hurts.
We're fans. It's a game. Who cares?
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game. It's a game, but at the same time, man,
booing the enemy. Like everyone's.
Yeah, exactly. We're booing the enemy, and I think it's gonna happen over the course. But I think in the sense of going back to Pop, and I agree completely with Jeff. Like we should not be at all saying, "Oh, we don't trust in Pop." Like look at what he's done. Look what he's done. And over the course of his career, he's done just nothing but amazing things. It's not only for the Spurs but for the NBA. And
I think Marco, I think it hits Spurs fans harder too because it's like, Pop, we're already in a huge losing streak, right? We haven't won a fucking game in a month, and you're asking us, who have had the patience, right, to lose all last year to get Wemby, and now we're here and we're losing again. We're not playing Trey Jones as our starter because we're deciding to experiment with Jeremy Sohan, who's just not a point guard. So why are we as fans trying to be patient with Pop? Now he's asking us not to be the nastiness that brought us chips in to begin with. So that's what I think Spurs fans are feeling right now. They're getting angry on top of their impatientness right now. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna ask you. Like, I think we talked about this in the group message. Obviously, y'all know that we have our group message. We talk every day on it about different stuff. Sometimes I don't reply. Sometimes I don't even read them because I forget. But
thank you for admitting that.
But what I did see was that Jose, you mentioned. I think it was you. We were talking about, and you just mentioned about Sohan. What are we doing there? What is wrong right now?
He's not.
I know we're the youngest team. We're the youngest team in the NBA.
Guard.
Do we all agree that he's not a point guard? Are we across the board?
And
he's
we
not a
don't.
point guard?
And I know we got Trey Jones, but we don't have a point guard. That's the like. It
Yeah,
was weird. We never got one.
But if you start Trey Jones, at least it's more actual point guard. He is a true he is actually.
Yeah, they're doing better when Trey and Wemby are in the lineup. They're doing better.
They are plus team when Wemby and Trey Jones are on the court together, and when Jeremy Sohan, who's had double the time minutes that Trey Jones has had with Wemby as on the court, they're negative as fuck. He's not a true point. He and Keldon have this bad habit of trying to drive into the basket, and then they fall to the ground and turn over the ball. And it's pissing me off because they're not going the game plan. And I know parts Alex is like, well, sometimes when Wemby's in the court, it's actually a negative, and when he's off the court, it's a positive. Yes, because Trey Jones is leading that freaking unit. That's why. It's not Jeremy Sohan. I can tell you that for sure. So go ahead, Alex, because I'm getting fucking pissed.
It's because like you're saying, so whenever Wemby is not on the court, and I said too, like that offense looks a little bit more in sync because when Wemby is on the court, they like force feed him sometimes, and it slows down the offense. And I think that when did we see? I saw it in the first game of the season whenever they were force feeding Wemby. And then he couldn't get around,
the first game of the season, the one I went to, the one that he got in foul trouble, that he was not getting force fed. It actually pissed me off. That's not true. He was not force fed. He only played about 22 minutes. He was in foul trouble the whole game.
Starving.
Whenever he got the ball, he couldn't. The offense did look slower, did it not?
No.
Yes, it did. Whenever he was getting, he couldn't.
I think they need to give him the ball more.
You think so?
No. The ball. They were stupid because I could see Branham fucking look at a wide open Wembayama and said, "Nah, one pass to the left instead." That's the same thing with Jeremy Sohan. Wemby is by himself. The defender leaves him alone under the basket to protect the three. And instead of Jeremy Sohan, hey, you know what? Easy alley-oop or easy pass right at the post. Oh, hey, Zach Collins, shoot a three. Zach Collins, no, fuck that. Throw it to Wemby, and it's too late by then.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a turnover.
So stupid. Jeremy Sohan is not a fucking point guard, and it's like they have no real movement.
I'm not saying he's a point guard.
I'm just saying the team is good when Trey Jones is on the court. That's what we need now. We don't need Jeremy Sohan. All
right, so here's my question. So say we start Trey Jones, right?
Yes.
So who comes off the bench to be the point guard? I think it's
Corey Joseph.
I wish.
Trade for him. I don't know where he's at. I think he's in
I think Golden State.
He's a fucking Golden State. He's about to take Chris Paul's fucking job.
Yeah.
So I think we can rotate it. Like we can start Trey Jones. I know we'd have to bench Vassell or KJ, which is tough. But KJ off the bench would be explosive. Now I don't know if he'd want to go that route. And then also to answer Jeff's question, when you're rotating Trey Jones out, put Jeremy at point guard, then have a different rotation to an extent, and then go from there.
Here, I got an easy answer for you. If we don't want to start Trey Jones, make Devin Vassell, our best freaking two-way player, our best guard, be the point. And then Trey Jones be the backup.
Nah.
But then you lose that shooting guard.
That's
what I'm saying. We're fucked. To me, we're fucked all the way around.
I think we need a point guard.
We need a trade, or we need to.
You know what's kind of, and we talked about this before. We talked about this before. Would out of Vassell and KJ, who do you trade? Who do you get rid of? I think we're at a point where we might have to make a tough. That's what I'm saying. We have to make a tough decision, and I think we're gonna have to pull in a young point guard, whatever that is, with picks or whatever we need to do to start developing a system here, because I think you're gonna have to sacrifice someone like Keldon and get him, because he just doesn't fit. He's not gonna want to play off the bench.
Yeah, he does. He's already said he's willing to come off the bench. He's very selfless.
But you don't want to do that to the caliber of like. I think that just comes down to a bad.
I think people
situation.
People misconstrue coming off the bench so fucking much. Manu was the perfect example of I can come off the bench and still get more minutes than your damn fucking starter. Mm-hmm. It makes no fucking sense for like anybody to be like, oh man, they shouldn't come off the bench or stuff like that. No, you make the team better. You make the rotations better. To make the ball move better. It's so like especially with us, we had with Manu. willingly to come off the bench, right? He was not selfish. He came off the bench and he did his job, and we won. He had more minutes than Danny Green, who started over him. He had more minutes than anyone else before that. And it's just crazy to think like, oh man, Keldon wouldn't do it. No, he would, because he would love to play more with Trey or with Seti, with maybe even Mamu get some more minutes on the team. Doug McDermott is a liability. He's only a 3-point shooter and no defense at all, so we can let him go in the future. Obviously, this team is nowhere looking like they're really built to win a title now, but you can't really try. Like, here's one thing that everyone in the front office, there's a report earlier today that I saw that they all agreed on. Victor Wembanyama's doing his fucking job. It's everyone else that needs to fucking catch up. Now, Devin Vassell, he got hurt early, and that shit hurt, hurts us, because without him on the floor, along with Wemby, the rotation's bad. Honestly, man, and I think Trey brought this out a few weeks ago, maybe week 1, week 2 of the NBA season. Maybe Jeremy Sohan's just a little jealous of Victor Wembanyama's spotlight.
It kind of looks like it, right?
That's
Bro,
what
that's what I'm saying. And I said that, like I said, a couple weeks ago, easy.
That's what I'm
Like,
talking
look at it. Okay,
Like-
don't get me wrong. They have a
like,
different dynamic. But, bro, you can't tell me you don't see something. Like, he won't pass him the ball sometimes. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I think Jeremy's over his head right now. The Spurs, no, we're not going that far with this team. They're developing players. Sooner or later, Jeremy will go back to his spot, and he's going to learn a lot in this position. They're just looking down the road, and of course, we want to win now. They're looking down the road. That's what I think is going on.
Yeah, but if that's the case, let's say they are looking down the road. You're going to keep Jeremy at point guard and get a power forward?
No.
So,
Our power forward is
so
Victor.
what are we? Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
What
like what
are
are we
we-
doing?
What are we doing with that aspect? If we're going to put Jeremy at his right position, then we need to go out and get a point guard. But if we want Jeremy to be the point guard, if we're going to keep that route, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think that's a long-term plan.
But see, that's what I'm saying. But why are we prepping it up to be like that? It's just stupid.
So the number 1 pick looks like they might get it again.
Fucking go.
Does he look like the number 1 pick?
No.
Yes, he's.
No, he's
Yeah.
saying we're tanking, I think, for a number 1.
No.
No.
Like I'm saying, like, is it? No, because to me it doesn't look like you guys are trying to tank at all. Because it just means like in late game scenarios when the game's close, it just looks like they don't have it to close it out. And you
We've grown big
expect
leads.
that from, you expect that from a really young team though.
Let me
right?
tell you something too. Alex. Sorry to interrupt you. And you maybe can relate to this. Not really though, but just because Chicago does have a lot of veterans. But I was gonna get to is that I think the lack of veterans on our team, especially when it comes down to stretch, that leadership role as a veteran, I think having a veteran on a team, even 1 or 2, I think is a big deal, especially in the development of players and
Like Keldon's our
development of
veteran.
teams.
Like if you really want.
But that's not a veteran. Like you know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying. But like that's what I'm saying though is like if you really look at the team, because no disrespect to them, but no one's gonna listen to Zach Collins or Doug McDermott. Like our veteran is really Keldon Johnson, because he's been the leader of the team for the last couple of years, or a leader right before, besides DeJounte and other people before him. But that's what I'm saying. Like Keldon is the guy who, and he's no disrespect, he's a good, fun-loving guy, and everyone loves the kid, but he's not the guy that to lead the charge for this team.
No.
Yeah, so I think that is needed too, like just that veteran leadership and inside the team, because there's things that coaches can only go so far with, and there's a lot of players that tell you like there's some of these veterans on the bench that provide so much, right? In the sense of like leadership and really brings the team together. And on a young team like this, an inexperienced, a lot of players that are not even 5 years in the league yet, like it's like I think it's very much needed to be able to like collectively like help this team grow. So maybe next year that's like one of the weak points that we can better at. Maybe pull in a veteran shooting guard or somebody there with some leadership that can help the team out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say we'd win a chip or anything like that, but hey, trade me back DeRozan. Fuck it. He'd be a nice vocal leader for Wemby, and Wemby he would be okay with Wemby taking the number 1 spot, because he knows Wemby's the future and DeRozan's, but
And they're about to blow the Bulls up too, so that's all right.
Yeah,
Right, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah. If Chicago is smart, they should blow him up, and San Antonio would actually be one of the spots they should hit up because they are going to have one of the top picks too.
right now we're at the number two spot.
I would say Alex Caruso is a big name. I'm sure San Antonio would love to have a player like Alex Caruso.
Oh, yeah.
on their
You
team.
mean a point guard?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd take
but
one.
he has great.
I take a point guard, any point guard at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We need the white people.
What about would y'all take the Jonte back?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. Fuck that guy.
Okay, here's my thing. There's no. It makes no.
He's just childish.
Okay,
he would
Alex,
help.
Alex, you said that everyone that you understand why everyone hates DeJounte. I don't fucking understand it. Can y'all explain to me why y'all hate DeJounte?
I told
don't
you,
hate the
Jose.
guy. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's
That
because
doesn't make shit to me.
it's
He's
like
childish.
because when y'all talking about Kawhi, he did talk shit when he left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said like it's bigger than basketball. What's wrong with San Antonio? We're not going to be
In that
good for a
interview.
long time.
Yeah.
But then it's dumb because we're the ones that gave him a shot because he had some outside basketball issues, and we took that chance with him, and we built him up, and then he leaves, and then he's mad at us. Like a player like him, he just ain't meant for the Spurs military system. You know what I mean? Like he just wasn't it.
He's kind of a diva. He's kind of like, I don't know.
Clown.
But y'all see him knocking off.
We play Atlanta next.
Wow.
Just
There's
go.
only
Yeah,
good
I know. I wish I was there.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't go as far to say I said fuck him, but I wouldn't say that.
I don't
Just because, honestly, like, imagine if he would have stayed, though. Do you think it would have worked out?
Fuck.
You think it
We
would have
wouldn't
worked
have
out?
got Wemby. So
we needed
Yeah,
him
we
gone
wouldn't
to
have
get
got
Wemby. We would have never gotten Wemby. We needed him gone. So I was, and
he was right there.
Here's the thing too. I mean, for me, because I know it's the interview he did with what is it?
Dumbass. What's that dumbass's name? Stephen F. Jackson.
I said smoke. I was thinking smoke the pop. That's not it.
Right? It was Stephen Jackson?
All the
Yeah,
smoke.
all the smoke. Yeah.
But and I know that was the interview that
Fuck
really
that.
like really pissed off people, the Spurs fans, other than the comment right where he's like, "Oh, well, Spurs won't be good for another 15 years." I think like for me, it's just the judge just spoke his truth, right? Like not everyone's gonna be happy at their employers, right? Like everyone has their own different experiences, and at least he was honest about how he felt, but he never said like, yeah, he was when he commented the whole 15-year thing. He was coming back to a fan who was being disrespectful to him, right? And we know fans can really go crossing the line sometimes. And hey, DeJounte's one of those guys that wants to respond back, but at least he's not using a burner account. But he just spoke his truth in that podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. And for me, I'm like, at least he's being honest, right? Like he didn't to this day, I still don't know what fucking Kawhi really feels. To this day, it's been 5-6 years. I still don't know.
He doesn't feel nothing.
I mean, that's probably true. He laughs in
LA.
LA. He laughs in LA and Toronto, but he doesn't laugh in San Antonio. But anyways,
even Steven Jackson, right?
Go ahead.
Now, even Steven Jackson has a love-hate relationship with the Spurs. Like he won a championship here, and then he'll say "fuck the Spurs."
Tony, he hates Pop. He hates Tony. And Pop. He doesn't hate anything else other than those.
But he did say "fuck the Spurs." Like, but then at other time he praises them all high. Like
He don't like
get
Pop
it, right?
because
Like
he bench his ass. That's why. He don't like Pop because he'd bench his ass in big moments. That's why.
they had a falling out at the end, in 2013, and I can't believe we cut him before the playoffs. But he was becoming a problem at practice, and he couldn't just shut up and just play, And he did disappoint me. I'm a big Steven Jackson fan, but yeah, he's pissed me off too.
I was too. I was really surprised about that whole shit back then, and we got Tracy McGrady off instead. I was like, that's so weird. And
then Tracy McGrady was like at the very, very end of his career. Like
he was already 5 feet of his 6 feet under fucking trail. Like he was already done.
Oh, God.
But whatever. Yeah. I mean, we don't need to talk anymore about the Spurs right now. They're disappointing. There's a lot of good fucking basketball teams that we have not discussed yet, like the Minnesota Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards and shit. Hey, I told y'all OKC, the Thunder are gonna fucking do good. Now I don't know what the fuck Josh Giddey is doing out there, fucking touching 16-year-old girls.
Giggity.
But
is that like okay? Is that before we move on?
Bro, Quagmire's face.
Please
Before we move on to the next team, we'll say, is Is that for real? Like it is? Like she was like she's young.
Yes.
Apparently, she lied about her age, is what they're saying now.
Yeah, that she told him a lie that
Yeah.
she was older. But
That's the PR stunt that they're doing.
It don't matter, bro. Like you kind of know.
Hey,
Like come on.
but there was a report. Andrew Bogut came out and said, because he's Australian, just Giddy, he said, "Oh, OKC knew about this a year ago."
Yeah,
Damn.
that's the new report that's just come out as well.
Yeah, so
Well, they said Oklahoma, like he's from Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, they had like their legal age is 16, but she was 15. You know, so he still was
Their
under the
le-
age limit.
well, Alabama, you can marry your cousin, so don't be surprised, Marco.
That's true.
You don't want to know.
Bunch
You don't want to know
bunch of cousin
Japan's
fuckers
legal
out there.
age. You don't want to know about Japan's legal age. That's worse.
Yeah, it's 12, right?
It's like 13 or 12. Yeah,
That is
Yeah.
insane, bro. That's insane.
yeah. So
That's crazy. That's mental.
there's a lot of
Let's not
positive
talk
things.
about-
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Giddy. Chet has fucking been amazing. There's a lot of things we could talk about. We'll save it for another time because obviously we have a few more things to talk about. Alex Smith came out and said Tom Brady had the easiest career ever in playing in the weakest division. And this is in response to Tom Brady discussing the fact that in today's game, the coaching has been really lacking, right? That the fundamentals are not really there in the offensive players as far as the quarterbacks, the receivers, the route running and stuff like that to protect yourselves from getting injured. Obviously, we see a lot this year, especially with quarterbacks getting injured and other stuff like that. We've seen receivers go down for a long period of time as well. Jeff, I'll let you go first because I know you have a lot of shit to say. So why don't you go ahead and kick that off?
Yeah, well, no, I don't know where to start. Where do I start? So yeah. I mean, what Alex Smith said was true, right? Like that division was bad for a long time, and it was horrible, right? The Jets, Miami, and who's the other one? They're just Buffalo, and then now those teams are good, but the thing about Brady that or the Patriots at that time, and you can't fault them for this, but yeah, they did have a cupcake division, and they would always get that first round bye. They would have 2 home games in the championship. That's what they did, and it worked out. And I mean, you can't fault them for doing that, but they did play a lot of home games, and they did have a lot of first round byes. And yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. Tom Brady was the leader of that team, and he had Bill Belichick, who was a mastermind at that time. Did he fall out? That the game does change. Tom Brady played for a fucking long ass time, right? The game has changed in that 20 years, 22 years or whatever. And, it was weird to hear Tom Brady say that the game changed, that it's got weaker when he did win a Super Bowl like 2 years ago. But, and I agree, right? Like, the game has changed. That they protect the quarterback more now because of Tom Brady. They got the tuck rule because of Tom Brady. Like, he changed a lot of those rules to protect the quarterback. So I don't know what he's complaining about. You know what I mean?
One of them. He's one of 2.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, he's one of 2.
One of 2 what?
One of 2 quarterbacks that made the biggest changes for quarterback hits.
Who else?
Who was the other one?
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Because Tom Brady was the one for the legs, which is why they're like, you can't go chop block and go in super low because of his injury in 2008. So they did change the rule for that. But the reason now why you can't put your full weight on a quarterback is because when they broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone twice in 1 year. You remember that?
That's
Who broke
right.
his collarbone?
That's right.
They broke his collarbone twice in 1 year. So it's those 2 quarterbacks that they're the 2 main reasons why they made those changes, because the network ratings went down.
What'd you say, Alex?
Who broke his collarbone?
The Bears.
I don't know. It had to be Bears.
Hurry up. I had to
Fuck that guy.
Hey, don't talk to your dad like that.
Oh
Leave him alone.
Fuck that guy.
Respect your dad.
Y'all are crazy.
Your daddy.
But yeah, it is an offensive league now. Even besides the quarterback, you can't touch the receivers either. That's why the passing yards are way up. This year it's kind of down because I think defenses are adapting to that. It's been like 5 years since this damn offense explosion, and it is a different game. But
no more. You won't be able to hip tackle anymore.
yeah, like what are you supposed to do? But yeah, the game's always going to be changing, and I didn't, I think it's a down year because the lack of quarterbacks, a lot of injuries. There has been a lot of like just I don't know, not exciting games or not like marquee matchups. but I don't think the quality's down as far as like he was talking about player development and all that. I mean, these guys are better than ever before. So I really didn't know where Tom Brady was coming from.
Marco, how do you feel?
I think Jeff hit it on the head. I actually want to hear your response now.
I want to hear everyone else's before I go.
Okay, you know what? I just agree with everything that Jeff said, but I would say that I was thinking about this the other day because, like Jeff said, like 2 years ago he won a chip, but in reality, he also at the time went to an easy division with the Bucks, even though he beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, which was very sad in my case because he made me cry.
Yeah, you were for 5 months after that.
Yeah, I was pissed off, bro, for a long time. But that's not the reason I wasn't coming on. But anyways, back to what we're talking about. He did go to an pretty easy division. Also, when you went with the Bucks, like you're talking about, like the Saints weren't good at the time. I mean, yeah, Drew Brees was I think that was his last year, right? That he came in and they won that chip that year. That was Drew Brees' last year. You know, and the other teams in their division. I mean, it was pretty easy division, and he still went and then got home field advantage, and you know. And to top it off, he had home field advantage at the Super Bowl, you know. So I mean, it was like a culmination of things where he's played his cards right, you know. And you can't follow a guy like that. Like he was a game manager. He always made the right move. And then you had like management with Belichick and the way they did things. They just made it really easy, and they just sought off their opportunities and they executed. You know, you still have to execute. You know, I get what Alex Smith is saying, but at the end of the day, you still have to execute. So I don't fault him completely on it, but I do think that when he says, "Oh, the league is a little mediocre now," well, I mean, that's all. I think that's all. What is it called? What does it mean? Like that's your situation at that time. Like it's all.
Well, you can say like all the old heads say that, right? Like, oh,
yeah. It's all relative. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's all relative, right? Because someone that's playing now is going to say the same thing 10 years later. But yeah,
Trey.
I mean, again, it is a lot different in that aspect of athleticism. I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? Like the fastest dude back in the day was Chris Johnson and Tyreek Hill. I know they're kind of close, but he would smoke him. And Tyreek's, you know, he is the fastest in the NFL, but there's a bunch of other guys. So you have to take into account to that. I think somebody mentioned like the passing game, how it used to be, and like all running, and now it's passing. So it's a lot more fast paced and normally high scoring. Not always, obviously, but I think some of it was out of pocket, like definitely. I don't know, man. I want to say Tom Brady is the GOAT, obviously. So I don't know about him being in a weak division and all that other bullshit, but it's definitely an interesting take from a perspective of a person who's been in the league, you know, for a while. So
I just want you also know that Micah Parsons, who has his own pod, actually agreed with Tom Brady with the minutiae of the game and stuff like that from the defensive perspective. Alex, go ahead and share your thoughts.
So during the summer, I had said this, Jose. I don't know if you remember, and you went off saying that, well, you can't fault it for who they play. Yeah, but like Alex Smith was right about the aspect of he did have an easy division, but who's that? I mean, you can't blame that on Tom Brady. You got to blame the other 3 organizations for not drafting right.
Is that not what I
Bills
said?
were never good at drafting. The Dolphins maybe had one good year whenever they had the Wildcat, you know, when they took the league for the Wildcat by storm, and Mark Sanchez, you know, in the Jets.
AFC Championship was that 2011?
Yeah, but
back-to-back years, 09 and 10, no?
Was it? Was it 09 and 10?
That team was built on the defense, but other than that, I mean, Alex Smith was right about them having an easy division, and then going to the Tom Brady's like saying that the development of these young players are different. He is right, because back then, whenever you would draft a quarterback high, you would sit a young QB, right? And now this year, now when you draft a quarterback in this time and age, fans want to see quick results. Like Bryce Young is getting kicked to the curb already in his fucking first year
with a bad team. It's a
very bad team.
And then you see CJ Stroud, and he's going off. But dude, CJ Stroud has a team around him. He has a good he has a really good coach around him. So
He
like,
has good people around him for sure.
yeah, so like
They don't have
I
a
could see
studded squad like they used to.
I could see why
They don't
Tom
have
is
a
saying like
passer around him
the
anymore.
development of these the young talent in this league has changed, because like you want these fucking young QBs to succeed their fucking first 2 years. Whenever Tom came into the league, these quarterbacks will sit 2 years, 3 years behind the starter, and then of them like changing the fucking changing the rules. Yeah, I am pretty mad that defensive players are not able to fucking take your head off. And Tom was one of the reasons why,
Bro.
him and Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you hit Aaron Rodgers and there's a fucking 15-yard penalty roughing the passer.
Like,
Every
dude,
other fucking
it's
play.
getting so sensitive too. Like I was watching, football a little bit on Sunday as much as I could, and there was one that Baron Browning from the Broncos got flagged on. If you watch the replay, dude, he went in with his shoulder. He didn't hit him.
Oh
late.
yeah,
He didn't land on him. He didn't. It was literally just a clean hit.
I think those plays should be reviewable.
And they threw the flag, and I'm like, dude, like that literally, like, not that it cost us the game because obviously we won, but I'm saying like that could have cost us a lot of momentum because we would have taken over. We would have gone like been in good, field goal range and all that jazz. But I don't know, stupid.
So I know, Marco, you say you want to hear my thoughts. I think I'm gonna start with Tom Brady's part first because obviously he's the one that initiated this conversation. I think Tom Brady is right on that aspect. Like, hey, because he has been vocal, even when he was playing, he was been vocal about how the defenses have been kind of screwed, right? To be able to come at quarterbacks, at full speed and full like hits, right? Like he's actually like, this is not new. This is not just retirement, Tom saying this. He's actually been saying this for years, but no one's really heard it because unless you listen to his morning radio show that he had with Boston Radio, when he was with the Patriots, and then later on when he started his podcast now with Jim Gray, he's been saying this for years. I think for him, the mechanics as far as like the fundamentals for a quarterback to like, he did try to give like Josh Allen some tips like, hey, bro, like you want to cut down on your interception rate? Well, here's how you want to, because he's been cut at the knees and hurt before. You want to know how you can prevent injury. This is how. And, that's kind of the things that he's been doing now that he's retired. He's kind of giving his own advice, right? CJ Stroud was on his podcast last week, and he was just dissecting Tom. He was asking the right questions to build off of him because obviously, why would you not want to take advice from a guy who won it all, right? I know they made a bet, right? If Michigan wins, you give him all his youth and speed and all this shit. But if Ohio State had won, he takes one of his rings, and CJ was like, I don't want your ring, Tom. I want my own fucking ring. And that's the kind of shit like you want to see, like, and I think it's right. Like, these wide receivers go out there and they're just like, well, I'm so freaking awesome. I have the best footwork out there, the best route running. And if my head's in the way of the defender, well, then fuck it. But at least if I can get that spectacular catch, I make a good TikTok video. I look good on highlights and shit like that. And that's not Tom's way because if I lose you, well, then I fucking can't use you for the next series. You see guys like, the Vikings could be using Justin Jefferson right now, right? He's been out the last 2 weeks and they've lost, even though they had a good win streak since, right? You have a lot of players that go out. Deontay Johnson was out for a good while for the Steelers, and he's been looking pretty good, except for the last week where he'd be a little diva, just like George Pickens. It's a lot of things, too. We mentioned earlier that we have a lot of quarterbacks who are getting thrown on the bus or they're getting, pushed into the fucking fire right away and stuff like that. They're not allowed to develop and get their fundamentals down like Tom Brady did, like Patrick Mahomes did, like guys who actually got to sit out a year and really learn this shit to really be the best versions of themselves by the time they do get that fresh start. Go ahead, Marco.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think that's a great point that you bring up because I think we're gonna be surprised here in a few years with and maybe Alex is not gonna like this, or maybe he will, but Jordan Love's development. Like every game, I feel like, and I said this in a text message also, like how he's getting better every game. But I think that's a good standpoint that he sat behind Rodgers, even though Rodgers wasn't too happy about the whole situation, and he knew that wasn't Jordan's fault. But I think him sitting behind Aaron and just garnering all that experience and, not letting, not him being thrown into like the fire per se. And I think has helped him a lot. And you can kind of see it in his development compared to the first time we saw him play to like now and how he played against Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, you kind of see the progression, right? And that may come from that. More of that comes from him sitting behind Aaron and learning how to play QB the right way. And I think a lot of players nowadays, like you were saying, a lot of QBs, they don't go through that. Let me sit back and watch this guy play. And it's unfortunate for a guy like Zach Wilson, right? And these other guys that get put into bad situations also with some of these organizations that don't have veteran QBs or, I think it depends on the situation a lot. But like Zach Wilson, for instance, right? He comes in, Jets are in shambles, and he's supposed to come in here and he's the third pick, whatever he was, second, third pick, I can't remember. He comes in, he's expected to ball out, but at the end of the day, like, you have nothing to look like, you have nothing to mirror, you have nothing to see, you have nothing to learn from. You're going based off what I did in college against,
bad defenses
and nothing, it's nothing. And then he gets this opportunity that Eric comes in. Unfortunately, he gets hurt, and he was going to be able to learn for a year or two, and he got stripped away from that. So I think if there's a lack of patience, 100% lack of patience, and but also there's a lot of bad situations in the NFL too. So.
That's what I was going to say too, because even going with the Frank Reich firing this week, owners are impatient as fuck. They have money. They can fire you if you're not doing good. We know David Tepper is one of the worst owners in the league right now because he fires everybody before this freaking season ends, right? Frank Reich this year, Matt Rule last year. Matt Rule wasn't doing good either ways, but you know what I mean. And then who was it? Wilkins was before that, right? And he didn't even get
from Tennessee.
Yeah, he didn't get much of a fucking chance either. And it's just
but Frank Reich had a track record of doing bad. He was at the Colts. He did nothing. And then he
took them to the playoffs one year, and then the next year with Matt Ryan and injured JT, there was not much you could do. And the O-line, remember that was the biggest criticism last year was the O-line. They're one of the highest paid O-lines, and they fucking not allowing. Matt Ryan died and retired and got sent to the commentary booth because that O-line was ass. It wasn't all Frank Reich.
Go ahead, Alex. Sorry.
That's what I'm trying to say for that. But
I don't like the firing because you essentially just fucking throw them into the Titanic and tell them to just start floating or swim back to shore, right? A lot of people say, well, he had a bad year in Indianapolis, but if you look at that team though, that team was fucking killed with injuries his last year there, and even before then, he had one of the top rushing offenses in the league, and their defense was right up there.
The year before, the one you're talking about, with Carson Wentz and those two bad ankles, Marco, that you like to make fun of, JT was number one in rushing. And they went to the playoffs. Because
their O-line on paper was supposed to be they were really good.
Same O-line, and they got money, and they got greedy, and then they stopped fucking showing up to work. That's what it was, and so that all fell on Frank Reich because he is the head coach. So they all blamed it on him, and then they put Jeff Saturday. So that really tells you where.
I'm not saying that it's right for him to get fired. Right? I think a coach deserves at least a year, maybe a little bit longer, to establish some sort of culture to let soak in and to develop, and especially the style of play that he plays. But I'm not saying that it's right. But I completely. I just want to point that out.
Here's what I'll say, Marco, and this is for everybody. You can how is it that you come into this coaching job, right? And you get the number one pick. It was decided before you were there. When you were there, and they were like, all right, we're going to get the number one pick. We're going to give up our best weapon to do it. Let's decide now that we're going to get this guy. And then, oh, wait, you know what? The owner changed his mind. He had dinner with Bryce Young and said, you know what? Fuck CJ Stroud. We're going to go with Bryce Young because he had dinner with the owner. What? Frank Reich, Josh McCown, they had a blueprint. Get CJ Stroud. Build around him. Obviously, we'll still not be one of the best teams out there because we do have a bad O-line. Miles Sanders isn't good without a good O-line. I think I saved Trey a fantasy trade with that, actually. Or I remember something like that.
I don't know.
But anyways, Miles Sanders was not going to be good with the Panthers, and nobody was. CMC kind of, disguised all the bad shit with the O-line over there in the last few years. But going back to Tom Brady, that's one of the biggest things, fundamental, being patient, shit like that. That's what he wants. And for Alex Smith, a guy who spent more time in the IR or season-ending surgeries than Tom Brady spent in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just crazy because it's like, well, yeah, Tom did have it, quote unquote easy. But like Alex said, Tom is not in control of when Miami, Buffalo, or freaking New York Jets get a fucking top 3 pick and they don't know what to do with it, right? Like, you got your ass whooped because, like I told everybody in the text thread, Tom and Bill had their foot on their throats and they never let go. So that's really it. Like, I mean, maybe they loosened up a little bit with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan. You saw Rex Ryan's fucking reactions like, oh, you want to be disrespectful to me, motherfucker. Okay, let's talk about your career. But anyways, I mean, I think it's just crazy because anybody in that situation would have taken advantage of that the same fucking way. Alex Smith would have done the same thing if he was on the Patriots ranking.
Oh, 100%. And they're going to say the same thing, and there's no comparison, right? Tom Brady has 7 championships. The Patrick Mahomes only has 2 with Andy Reid. But they're going to say the same thing. Last 6 years, I would say 6 years, I can't quite, I'm not good with stats. We're AFC champion. Yeah, I think it might be 5. It might be 6 this year. Yeah, this year will be 6.
Yeah.
Unless the Broncos do something crazy, which I'm getting, hey, the Broncos, man. Hey, I'm proud of y'all, man. Look, Broncos are my rivals. I don't always get into another conversation, but it's fucking cool to see because everybody was fucking dogging them, including me, and they're slowly making a comeback. So, hey, Jeff, your money. Hey, those Spurs stick is looking good, Trey. That's all I gotta say, man. Your Spurs looking good, but
it's that defense.
Yeah, no, that defense is so.
It hasn't been Russ, really, to be fair.
No, they turned it around, dude. They got slapped in the face after that Dolphins game. But going back to what I was gonna say is that later down the line they're probably gonna say, you know what, that AFC West was really bad those 6 years. They're gonna say, well, what did they do with it? What did they, And at the end of the day, they got 2-3 championships out of it. That's not their fault that they sucked and they didn't know what they were doing for a long time. That it goes down to the same thing. There's always going to be someone talking. And I think if anybody deserves to talk, as much as maybe it's a little controversial, if anybody deserves to talk, it's probably the GOAT. So you got to give respect, like it is what it is.
It is going to be funny, Marco, because in a few years, people are going to be bringing up when you had to face Brandon Staley, Josh McDaniels, and Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, what did we do? Your job is to get the job done. You know what I mean? Like,
the job is to get the job done.
Yep. And if you do that, then kudos to you and win as many as you can while you're in the right situation.
So I wanted to talk about one last big topic before we have some TikTok-centric games I wanted to go with y'all do. And let's really talk about Philadelphia. Now, me, Trey, and Jeff talked a little bit about them last week after their win over KC and how good they looked. And obviously now they go in and they do a nice comeback against Buffalo. Same thing, right? Down 17-7 at the half. The same way it was with the Chiefs. And it goes all the way to overtime. It's a barn burner fight. It's a battle, like really toward the end. Defenses on both sides kind of lacking. Turnovers again on both sides on Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. That could have been really crucial on both ends. But Jeff, I'm going to go with you. Philly's now 10-1. We talked about it last week, man. They continue to roll despite the fact that their teams are they're gritty, man. Philly is just gritty, and there's this team. And Josh Allen, who no longer has what's his name as the OC, they look good, and they just again they can't get the job done.
Yeah, it's a little insane, right? Like I don't know. I thought Philly was gonna lose when I saw the score, and it's like they start off slow, they look ugly. The Hurts has some turnovers, and then they just turn it on, right? They've been doing it. They've been winning ugly, and I think they said that they broke some kind of record of coming back, right? In the fourth or the third, like the second half, coming back, like they've been down by like 10 points, 14 points, and they've been coming back and winning these games. Like it's insane that they're 10-1. They do got a tough schedule coming up. I think they got Dallas.
They're still in the middle of
Dallas. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'll say they were one of the toughest all year long. Like,
I think they lose both of those games.
Yeah, they got a tough schedule coming up, and they might win one, lose one, but yeah, they're definitely the like I said last week. It's a lot of stuff that we said last week that they're on a mission, right? They lost the Super Bowl last year. They're on a mission to win it this year and to prove that last year was a fluke or that the fields are messed up or whatever. They mad, and you can tell. You know what I mean? They're focused, and I still think they're the top 10 in the NFC, and they're going to be there, right? They're going to have home field advantage, and they're going to be the favorites in the NFC to go to the championship.
Alex, I know you weren't a big fan of after the Chiefs game. You weren't a big fan of Nick Sirianni's reaction to the fans. Again, it's to the fans, not the players itself or the coaching staff. What are your feelings still right now, a week later, on Nick Sirianni?
So, going back to the whole like Philly thing, like I don't hate the Eagles, but like Shady McCoy's making me hate him really bad. I can't stand that motherfucker.
For real, right? For real, bro.
He should not be on that fucking show. But going back to let's go.
They
back
can't
to
afford
Sirianni.
anyone else.
And it fucking looks like it. But going back to Sirianni, I mean, he has this like fucking demeanor like where you don't see it on the sideline with these coaches, right? He's fucking like yelling and fucking saying let's fucking like, you know, kind of basically talking shit right across the field. You can't really see it on TV, but you know it's we got X now, we got Twitter or whatever, so we're gonna see it, and I see a lot of it since he's been the coach there, and I don't know, it just feels so cringy, like bro, like that's like for real, like you're supposed to be an NFL coach and that's how you act. I understand that he's not doing it to the fucking to the players, but like still, bro, like a couple months ago, this team just beat you. So like on one of the biggest games too, not a fucking regular season.
Well, the biggest game.
Yeah, the biggest game. But like this is regular season,
It's
so
hurt.
I guess yeah, it's probably still left a little stinger to him, but.
But he's having, but my thing, Alex, before we Trey, I'll let you talk. My thing, Alex, is that he's going to the fans, and the fans are booing and saying shit to him on his way out. Well, I mean, I just have an emotional win, and yeah, fuck you. Like if you're gonna tell me fuck you, you know, I'll fuck you back. You know, the same way Philly fans were saying shit to the Bills players right before the Bill players came over here and want to smack you in the face, right? You know, sometimes you just weren't responding. I mean, in this case, he's just responding. He didn't shove anybody the same way Shaq Lawson did. You know, he's just saying, you know, fuck you, like, ha, and other shit.
And I'll say this, Josh Allen threw a perfect pass to in overtime. Fucking Gabriel just didn't read the coverage. Like, he did not read the coverage, and he broke it the wrong way. And that's essentially what won the game for Philly, right? Because, like, they kick a field goal, and Philly comes back the next drive and scores a touchdown. So,
Trey, how you? Oh, sorry, Alex. Go ahead. Go finish your thoughts.
No, it's just that it would have been a different story then. Now,
Yeah. Trey, Bills are now 6-6. Bad 6-6. Like if we expected them to have 6 losses, it wasn't going to be after week 12, with only 5 games left for them left in the season. What are your thoughts on Bills' chances to actually make the playoffs at this point?
It's going to be tough. They aren't playing like I thought they would this year, honestly. I thought they'd have a chip on their shoulder and come out swinging. And don't get me wrong, some of the stuff that they've done, you know, is kind of self-inflicted on other aspects, but, man, just terrible, dude. It's not at all what I expected.
And Marco, I mean, obviously you see that right now the Eagles are the number 1 ranked team. And I want to hear your thoughts really coming off last week's game, because obviously you weren't able to get on, and it was a rematch, a Super Bowl rematch, a game where your team won the big one last year, very close battle then too. I know the Chiefs won this week, started down 0-14 in the first quarter, but they rallied back. They finally scored some big points in the second half. Just do you feel the confidence still that your Chiefs, I want to hear your thoughts on this, can still come out on top despite the bad play from your receivers?
Yeah, if there's one thing I do have, it's trust in Andy Reid and that coaching staff, and trust in Patrick that they're going to be able to get it together and figure it out here down the stretch. Just because they say, you know, real football starts after Thanksgiving, right? You're going to start figuring it out and start, you know, winning games and gaining some momentum. Obviously, we didn't want to lose that game. Our receivers dropped a lot of passes. A lot of people were running a lot of wrong routes. Justin Watson a couple times, but a couple of other players are running like wrong routes, and it just seems like there's a disconnection there. Which I've heard from reports that Pat is taking extra time to work with the receivers and outside of actual practice to get on the same page. And people want to say that they turned it around with this last game. I still saw some stuff that I didn't like, but I think there is some progress there that they're going to be able to figure it out. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried completely. Like I'm not 100% worried, but I am worried more compared to other years, just because of the consistency of bad play and in on the offensive side of the ball, right? Because our defense is arguably the best defense we've had ever in the Patrick Mahomes era. So, we got to take advantage of that we have a defense like that right now. And as far as when it comes to the Eagles and that game itself and just the Eagles in general and Coach Sirianni, I get it. Like, you could talk your shit, right? You won. You would beat us at home. But keep that same energy. You know what I mean? Like, keep that same energy when you lost. And, you were crying and shit. Keep that same energy when you go into the building. I think it shows, like, you as a head coach, you don't see Andy Reid doing that bullshit. You don't see the other coaches doing that bullshit. And to me, it just seems like it's like a character thing. It's like, bro, you're a head coach. Like, I don't know. Like, it leaves – it's just like, I want to beat you more now just because you do stuff like that. It's kind of childish because you don't see these other coaches do it that have class and actual class and know how to handle themselves. So you could say that the fans are going to tell you something no matter where you go. And if anybody has the worst fans, it's probably either the Patriots or the Eagles as far as talking shit. So that's the truth. Come on, let's be honest. So, and I think in the sense of Coach Sirianni and like, I saw this thing where they played the video of Jake Elliott, which shout out to my kicker, Jake Elliott. He's my kicker, but one of my favorite kickers. He's absolutely amazing, bro. That guy, nobody understands how hard that kick was. Like in a fucking crosswind at the time, they were seeing heavy rain. Like if there's a hard kick to make at the end of a game, it's that one. That was legit crazy. I just want to give a shout out to the kickers out there. But in the sense of when it comes to, I saw this.
Not the Houston kicker because that thing doinked backwards real quick.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Carlos Santos hit 4 kicks for us. The big win yesterday.
Yeah,
he's the only one hitting for Chicago.
Well, he kicked as many field goals as Josh Dobbs threw picks. So, going back to what we're talking about, I saw this video of Jalen that Jake Elliott scored the field goal, and Jalen just sitting on the bench with a serious face, composure, and whatever. Sometimes I feel like shit like that is kind of corny. I don't know. Like, I feel like he does it on purpose. Like, he knows that like people are gonna be looking at him, and he wants to keep like composure. Like, we shouldn't be in this situation. Blah blah blah. And then I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me.
But I mean, if you think about it, he left.
He dropped. Sorry.
I was gonna say, Marco, be careful who you call corny. Because the last person you called corny didn't look so corny.
Oh,
Russ.
Trey.
Oh, he's corny. He's still corny to this day. He's still corny. He's just playing a little bit better. I think.
Mr. Unlimited?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he's cooking. He's cooking something. I don't know if it's a full course meal, but he's getting there. Yeah. So.
Hey, I was gonna Jose. Remember I told you that the Broncos were gonna make a little run.
So much.
Yeah, and I told you before the season that the fucking Eagles wouldn't be 5-5. Like you thought they would be. You thought they'd be a 500 team.
Jalen's also playing.
Hold on, Marco. How about your thoughts on the fact that the Eagles are not the bad team that you thought they'd be?
Oh, they're still one of the worst teams in giving up passing yards. They're still they. In this NFL age, you still gotta fucking stop the pass, and they have yet to fucking like play a team where that bites them in the butt. But in the playoffs, you're gonna play teams like that. So
yeah, I'm just saying. I know you thought you came into the season saying the Cowboys were going to win the division, that the Eagles would fall back. Hey man, last year 10-1 with the easiest schedule, right? Now they're 10-1 with one of the hardest. I just think we should be giving them a lot more flowers because they might not win it all, right? I'm not saying they're going to win it all. The Ravens are still my pick. if they do everything fucking right, like how they're supposed to. But the Eagles can easily make their way back to the Super Bowl. Obviously, this weekend they have the 49ers. So that's going to be a fucking huge game.
I think
An
49ers
NFC
kill
rematch.
them.
Hopefully, Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt. Hopefully, they don't have to go to Christian McCaffrey to be the quarterback. I don't know, Marco. We could say that the 49ers will kill them, but at the same time, we saw at times the 49ers suck. They lost 3 in a row. So maybe there will be a game plan around that so they can try to focus on that. Because obviously, yes, they have Trent
Well,
Will,
Brock
Debo,
Brady
and Ayuk.
Brock was hurt. Brock was hurt pretty much those 2 games, and then that was the first game he came back when they lost that third one.
But we don't want to give excuses, right? Because if you're playing on the field, regardless, like you're playing, right? Joe Burrow, we didn't give an excuse for. Patrick Mahomes, we don't give excuse for being sick. Like if you're gonna play, then you're gonna fucking play, right? There's no fucking excuse off of it, right? So that's
I mean,
really
Jalen's an example of that, right? Because Jalen's playing hurt. You know, people want to say something. Jalen's playing hurt with his knee, and you can kind of tell in his mobility. You can kind of tell that it is affecting him. But I think defensively, they're not the same defensive team they were the last 2 years. So
I think it's the secondary for sure. Still, it's still that one. That's their major weakness.
yes, and I think with the way they scheme, the Niners scheme stuff around on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to take advantage of that, and I think they're going to be able to do whatever they want with them, as far as the 49ers being able to do that offensively. So if the defense can show up for the Niners and play like they know how to play, I think they'll beat them by like a touchdown or something like that.
Well, the Niners are 3-point favorites at Philadelphia, so that'll be interesting to see. We do have this question here from one of our viewers. Thoughts on the Steelers without Canada? Does anybody want to share a thought on that?
Yes, 400 yards,
Bro.
for the first time since fucking forever.
Since Big Ben?
They looked. Yes, and we could have wished it would have been a lot sooner. I work with this guy. So I'm working at a prison, right? And the guard that escorts us in to the prison is a big Steelers fan. And I was talking to him today, and he had a Steelers gear on, and I was like, Steelers fan, huh? He's like, yeah, about fucking time he got rid of Canada. So, yeah, man, it was toxic as fuck, I guess, in that locker room because a lot of even the kicker hated him. So
Boswell hates him.
Yeah, Boswell hated him. So offensively, they look good. Hopefully, Kenny Pickett can pick it up, though, man. That team is stacked on defense, and you would hate to have a waste like that this year. So hopefully, they can capitalize.
Yeah, Najee and Jalen Warren putting up almost 150 yards rushing. Kenny Pickett nearly threw 300 yards. And, of course, it does help that Freiermuth came back because he had a big game. One of the biggest things is that they were now able to go down the middle, right? They're not afraid of using Kenny Pickett down the middle because if you know Kenny Pickett's game, it's been left or right. That's it. There ain't no fucking game in the middle. It's whatever. I think I heard earlier today in one of the pods I was listening to that in the entire time that Matt Canada has been with Kenny Pickett, right, like these last 2 years, for a year and a half essentially, only 12 times in all the games did Kenny Pickett throw down the middle. But in one game, he threw 4 times. And that was the Freiermuth, and that was for big yardage, big yak, and stuff like that. So good for them, man. They're 7-4. I don't know how far. I think Alex mentioned it a week or two ago that they could be a scary team to face in the playoffs, and especially with that defense. Offense has still got a lot of work to do because you go back-to-back weeks where you play the Browns, who don't have Deshaun, you lose, and then you play the Bengals and you win, but you're not exactly performing at your very best that you probably could, right? I think both games have scored under 20 points. So let's see what more they can do. Obviously, there's a lot of issues going on also with their wide receiver core. And I think another thing, going back to the Tom Brady thing, is that these guys are not disciplined. They're kind of diva-ish. George Pickens and Deontay Johnson are just – I don't know what's going on with those guys. They're very talented as hell, but they just sometimes don't want to be there. And I think that just sucks for Steelers fans and this whole Steelers organization because that's one of those legacy franchises, right? There's only 2 teams that have 6 championships, and they're one of them. They're the first ones to do it. And I think it just sucks to see that you got this much diva shit, and you thought you got rid of it with Antonio Brown. Where's the Hind Ward? Where's the fucking Santonio Holmes? Where's the freaking legends? Where's the discipline and all this shit? So that's something to look at, going to the offseason with these guys. So before we wrap it up, I just wanted to play a game with y'all. So this is basically built as a blind rankings. We've done blind rankings before. I know most of y'all have. But I wanted to see, it's a blind ranking of where if you were starting a team, who would you start a team with? And this is so basically you're just gonna do it on your own, right? This is you won't be on teams or anything like that. So you'll just pick a number for yourselves, and then I'll put it on TikTok and shit like that. So blind rankings of quarterbacks you'd want to start with your organization with. So first up, and it's 1 through 5, by the way. 1 through 5.
For NFL or NBA?
Obviously.
It's NFL?
Yes, NFL. NFL. And I'm going to use young guys who've been drafted in the last couple of years. So I'll start with an easy one first. Trevor Lawrence.
3.
Okay. Who goes first?
Anyone. You can go. I mean, Trey can go first. And Trey said 3. So you can go next, Alex.
Oh, I was gonna say 3 too.
Marco?
2.
Jeff?
I'll go 4. We're going like one's the best, right?
Yes. So
Okay, I'll go 4.
Okay, so it's a blind ranking. So okay.
Yeah, I don't know who's in this group.
All right. AR-15. Trey?
4.
Alex?
We'll go 5.
5. Okay. Marco?
5.
Jeff?
You better not give anybody worse than AR-15. Fuck.
I know.
Yeah, because now I got to go with 5. But now I'm fucked.
That's why I started Trevor at 3, because I figured there's got to be 2 worse and there's got to be 2 better.
So everyone's at 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I said 4.
Yeah.
Oh, you said
Straight up
4?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be somebody worse than him. On
Mac Jones.
field.
Okay.
Oh, fuck no.
No, I would never. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy.
I'm gonna put Brock. Ooh.
4.
Wait, hold on. Let him
Perfect.
go. Okay.
Oh,
So 4 for
I'm
you,
gonna go
Alex?
2. I'm gonna go 2.
Yeah.
2. Marco?
3.
Okay.
Yeah, my 3
Yeah, okay. So Jeff,
got
your bottom 3 is done.
is done.
Bro, I hope
Right.
Mac Jones.
Bryce Young is on there. I hope somebody like that's on there. Kyler Murray won.
Justin Fields. Wait. Justin Fields.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
6.
So for Trey, it's 1 or 5.
I know. And I don't want to be that guy that puts him at 5 because I don't want him at 5. I gotta go 1. There's no else to go. I gotta go 1. I have to.
Alex, you have 1 or 4. I believe it's yours number still.
No, I got only 1 and 2.
You got only 1 and 2? Okay, so
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
For him, 1.
Yeah, yeah, he has better talent than. He's
That's what
more
I'm saying.
talented than.
Him and Brock can flip flop for me. I
Yeah,
don't mind Justin Fields.
he's probably the
Oh,
most
so
talented.
slander on Trevor Lawrence. Y'all are-
Okay, so
Trevor's
one-
up there as well.
So 1's for both of y'all. Okay. Marco.
Number 4, Justin Fields.
And then
I got to burn 2.
it's 1 or 2. 2? Okay.
2.
Come on.
Hoping for somebody.
This is
All right.
gonna be fucked.
All right,
This is
so-
gonna be fucked.
So Trey, this is your guys again. You have
I have Justin Fields at 1, Brock Purdy at 2, Trevor Lawrence at 3, and whoever the hell else you said at 4. Oh, AR-15 at 4. I think it's a pretty solid list, honestly. I'm not
I
mad at
think
it.
the last
I think
one.
I have-
So the last one is CJ Stroud.
Ah, you said it. Was
Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah. My list ain't too bad.
What talking about?
My list ain't too bad.
Hey, hold on.
Hey, my list is fine. I like it.
Hey,
I like it.
Either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. And you went
Hey,
Bryce Young.
y'all really think CJ is
Hey, give
better
credit.
than Justin?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
as
yeah.
Cameron
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
He's got
okay.
arms and legs.
You called it, bro. Hey, I want to give props to Alex because he called it. He really did call
I
it.
said if Justin Fields was in that draft class, Justin Fields will go number 1. I still think CJ
I
Stroud
don't
was the
think
best
so.
QB.
No,
I don't think so.
Well,
no.
I'm just all right.
Alex, you went number
I
4 in his own draft.
Come on, I just told you that you got it right. You said CJ Stroud was going to be really good. And you over here telling me that Justin Fields will go over. Come on, Alex, I'm trying to compliment you.
I said that whenever
And you're
we're going
wrong.
over the draft.
And you're wrong.
No, that's what I said. I'm giving you props because you got it on the money.
No, well, you got on the money on CJ Stroud, but saying Justin Fields would have gone over. I mean, I get Bryce Young, right? But CJ Stroud, Bryce Young shouldn't even have gotten over CJ Stroud. But there's no way, like respectfully, Alex. I know he's
the Panthers actually could be somebody right now if they had Stroud.
There's no way I would pick Fields.
Yeah, it's just his passing, bro. It's just on the other.
Dude, he's so smart though.
He's smart in his passing, dude. It's just
every play.
He's accurate.
He's confident as fuck.
He's
not deterred at all.
He's read.
Plays like a vet. Almost like that same cockiness or like same confidence that Joe Burrow when he came in and played with. It's like that same shit. Like he knows, like he's meant to be there.
It's not the same thing with Joe Burrow and CJ because CJ comes in, he has a fucking established offensive tackle. Joe Burrow didn't have that.
Okay.
I was just saying CJ Stroud has.
Okay. Thank you, Alex. I thought you were going to.
Who were the Texans last year? Who were the Texans last year?
I really thought he was going to.
But that's what he's saying. He's actually defending Joe. He's actually saying Joe didn't have.
That's interesting. That's interesting because you hate Joe Burrow and the Bengals. That's interesting. That's fucking interesting.
No, but I'm just stating facts though. That's why you see CJ. That's why you see CJ balling out this year because he does have. People were saying like, "Oh, well, that team was bad, bro. They had pieces already."
Yeah,
and then just adding DeMeco,
for sure.
And then having DeMeco Ryans in adding to that mix just fucking like times 2, bro. And then they bring in OC from the Kyle Shanahan tree, so that works even more to CJ Stroud's like benefit. So yeah, a lot of people don't really see that shit though. They just see CJ Stroud putting all these fucking numbers, but bro, he just went into a right like system. Like I'm not trying to discredit him.
I don't know, man, because DeMeco was a new coach coming into an already broken. Like DeMeco had to come in and fix shit. I mean, I don't think anybody knew that like this was a great.
I really did.
No, he fixed it. I think everybody kind of didn't really know what was going to happen, right? DeMeco was he's going to be his first time head coaching job. We knew who DeMeco was as a defensive coordinator with the 49ers. Like we knew what he brought to the table, but we didn't know how he was going to be as a head coach coming into a last 5 years, would say, like during like even the Deshaun Watson era where Houston really struggled in the front office with doing things right. So I don't think anybody really knew that they were going to be good.
Like the CJ Stroud with DeMeco and Will Anderson and even Tank Dell, like they make me want to go see a Houston Texans game.
Yeah,
because other before that I don't want to see shit about the Texans, not on my TV screen, not about anything like that. Like, yeah, bro. Could you imagine any time in the last 20 years that we've been fans, right? For the most of us, most of us more than that, but you know, obviously some of us were babies 20 years ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, you fool.
Oh.
But in the last 20 years, when has anybody said, "Man, I can't wait for a Jaguars Texan game"?
Nah, bro. Then when they would play it, like the last couple of years, you had nothing to watch, and then CBS would be playing these shitty ass games with the Texans in it. You're like, what the fuck are they playing this game for?
Well, they have that's the area.
When the Jags had MJD and Andre Johnson was on Houston. Those are some good matches, but yeah, I know what you mean for the most part.
That was how long ago?
Yeah,
but imagine Maurice Jones-Drew. That was
MJD was.
Hey, he would be getting penalties now for how he ran. Shit, that dude was crazy.
Hey, so wait, what was your list, Jeff?
We never finished up, but yeah, of course, my only spot left was it's CJ and then Fields.
Well, we did finish it when I announced it. It basically fills your last.
Fills your gap. Okay, yeah. I got you.
Well, you got it.
But yeah.
So I think Jeff got it right with CJ. And what was the rest of your list?
So CJ, Fields, I can't remember 3, Lawrence, and AR. Who was the last? Who's the
Purdy?
Quarterback? Purdy was my third one. So that ain't too bad.
I'm actually Jeff probably hit the nail on the
head. Marco, what was yours?
Mine was CJ, Trevor, Brock, Justin Fields, and then AR-15.
That's pretty good.
I think that one for me is more accurate as hell.
Yeah, that's probably perfect.
I got lucky, bro. I'm glad it was CJ at the
I
end.
think mine's better.
God,
You think yours is
Fuck
better?
off,
Shut
Trey.
up. You put
Fuck
CJS
off,
5.
fuck you, Trey. Let me win once, bro. Fuck.
Bro, because he finishes the fist. He's the fifth one.
After I got Jared Dudley in that last drive, bro, I needed a win.
Don't talk about that giddy. Alex, what was your 5?
Giggity.
I got JF1, CJ Stroud,
Start over,
Trevor
Alex.
Lawrence at 3.
Start over, Alex. Start over.
Sorry, guys. Y'all are loud.
Justin Fields, CJ, Trevor Lawrence, Brock, and AR-15.
All right, Trey. Now say your list again. Your full list.
I don't even remember, bro.
You remember.
Russell Wilson.
You remember?
That's true. He's number one in my heart, bro.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, that's all I have for tonight, guys. I think this was a good episode, a good recap. I know it's late, so I know.
Yes.
Thank you for hanging strong on that one, guys. It's 2 hours episode. We haven't had that in a minute, but thank you for that. Thank you for. We got to talk a lot. We really shared a lot of expressions, our feelings about shit. Fucking Jeremy Sohan, I swear to God, you need to go to the bench. Anyways. That's all I got for tonight, guys. Any final thoughts before we head to the weekend and until next week or anything like that?
One final thought. I'm sad I'm not going to the Houston game.
Let's ride.
Also,
Hey,
as
Russ
Jim
is
quoted
cooking.
earlier, giggity.
Hashtag giggity, giggity, giggity,
Giggity.
giggity.
All right. And then Alex, my team will do you a favor and destroy the Packers. So be happy about that. Be
I'm
a
gonna
good
laugh
game.
if y'all lose. Just
And,
like,
oh yeah,
I'll be
I was
saying
gonna
that shit.
I was gonna say like you were talking about like a Jordan Love, bro. He's only had like 2 good games this year.
No.
Like,
Hey, chill out.
Against
How
the
you?
Bears and the Lions.
What's up with you?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
No.
divisional opponents when it matters.
Yeah, but like every single game, my friend's like a big Green Bay fan. He's like, bro, fuck this Jordan Love guy. Like,
Yeah, they're not gonna
he's
say
not
that.
wrong though. Like, he hasn't been playing good at all up until last week. Like,
That is such
he
a
really
lie.
hasn't.
Every game he's progressed. Every single game he's progressed. He's playing better. He also has been. Green Bay's been plagued with injuries. Like, let's not fucking sit around like they haven't been plagued with injuries.
They've had a stacked ass defense though for the past like 3 years. That
Yeah,
defense
that's why
isn't
they keep,
getting
that's why they
any
keep
younger,
beating
so-
y'all. Even with Jordan Love's sucky
Yeah.
ass.
All right. Well,
Yeah, they have a great defense.
say
I
it,
love you,
say
Alex.
it,
Just like the Broncos.
Damn, everybody's such a fucking. Hey, Jeff, I think the Cowboys beat the Eagles at home.
next
Yeah,
week.
I think the Cowboys
they
beat the
usually
Eagles at
split
home.
it. But like to me, all this don't matter. It's gonna come down to that playoffs, Final Four. That's what it's gonna come down to.
He just wants to see if the Cowboys can even be a Final Four.
They'll be
Hey,
there.
If
Dak's playing the best.
they win, he's still gonna hate Dak.
Again, the best against bad teams. You're right, Mark.
Yeah, they're like Miami, right? They've beaten all the bad teams and lost against all the good teams. They need a win against Philly. They need a
I
good
can't
win.
wait until they play each other.
if you look, they have
Year.
not beat anybody with a winning record.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Never mind, they might lose, bro.
And they like to like run up the score against bad teams and get it in pad stats. Like, it's just crazy.
This is gonna help Dak's confidence, so he can go into the Eagles. I just want him to beat the Eagles.
You know what this is gonna do, and it's gonna piss off Jeff. These numbers that he's putting up is gonna make them re-sign him to a max contract, and it's gonna piss off Jeff so much.
It's like this is never gonna end. We're
Just
stuck
sign
with
him-
Dak for the next
sign him to a
13
10-year deal.
years.
Sign him a 10-year
Jerry
deal. There you go.
Jones. Jerry Jones said that Washington win was better than some of the Super Bowls he wins. Like, that dude is outside his damn mind.
Jerry Jones also thought it was fucking 1942, whatever he said the other fucking day. 1912. Like, dude,
1923. 1923.
he needs to shut up, dude. He thinks
That shit was Jimmy Johnson was like, well, I hope it's 2023.
I have no way to go back to that time.
It's 1923 over here.
Bro, you went way back. Let's not go there.
We're gonna
his
sign
birthday
that
and
to a
shit.
10-year deal.
Let's not go there, please.
All right, just to recap one thing too, our pick'ems. Alex, you're in last place with 103 wins. Jeff, you're in 5th place at 105. Marco, you're in 4th at 106. So you're only up against Jeff by 1 point.
Fuck.
Me and James are tied at 2nd with 114 points. And Trey, after this awesome blunder, is now only in 1st place at 116 points.
Damn, the pressure's on.
Damn, bro. Trey, don't choke, bro.
Yeah, bro.
But you don't choke, bro. You're a trooper.
I'm professional.
Hey,
You can win this. You can win this.
I'm a
You're a trooper, Trey. You don't
Talk about our
choke.
You better win it,
fantasy
Trey. You better
Huh?
take it.
Alex, what?
Talk about our fantasy standings.
No one gives a
Get the
fuck
fuck
about
out of here. All right, I'm fucking done. I don't want to talk about that dumb shit when you got I got 10 players on IR in the season, bro. Literally. 10 fucking players have gone IR on my team. I'm fucking done. Anyways, y'all have a
My
great
fault.
night.
You're Jerry Jones in our fucking fantasy football
Fuck
league.
you and fuck the Bears. See y'all later. Bye.
You're not leaving. Calm down. You still have one
Oh,
more job to
damn.
do.
Hey, y'all know that we got an app now on this thing, and I'm using the app now. That's pretty cool.
We have an app.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's actually better. Actually, like, it's a lot smoother and stuff.
There you go,
Like on the
Jeff.
phone. Yeah, so y'all can download it.
Here's my laptop. But I was gonna say, because the reason I brought the pick'ems in was because I was gonna ask y'all for your predictions for Thursday night football. Seahawks at Cowboys. The undefeated at home Cowboys are -9 over the Seahawks in betting odds. Trey, go first.
I'm gonna say Cowboys, and I'm gonna say they cover.
Alex.
Cowboys versus Seahawks.
Yeah.
Like Cowboys.
Do they cover those 9 points?
Yeah, they cover.
Oh, okay. So the anticipation was killing me. Marco,
Both. Cowboys cover.
Jeff,
Yep, Cowboys cover.
I agree. Cowboys cover. I mean,
Geno
the
Smith.
Lions fucked
Good
us
shit.
last week with that fucking shit. They should have fucking won, but
If Seattle had a good QB, I think Seattle had a good QB. I think that team would be different. But that's just my opinion.
they never believed in Gino. It's okay.
Somebody put them in the top 10 of their QBs. I don't know who it was. Someone over here put them in the top 10.
And
Put them
you
in the
want-
top.
how about you shut your whore mouth, Mr. Last Place in Fantasy Football?
Why are you dogging on me? I'm just saying. You got a top 10. That's all I'm saying.
All right, and since Marco wants to talk his shit, and Marco, since you want to talk your shit, in last place in fantasy football at 2 wins and 10 losses, it's Marco.
Oh, fuck off. What the fuck you laughing at, Trey?
I'm laughing at Quattro, brother.
Nah, no, bro. It sucks. But it's, you know what?
Wait.
Hey,
hold
You
on.
have had a
Last couple
terrible
years, I've come in second place, third place. It's all right.
He has won money the last 2 years, so
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a step back. It's fine.
yeah, he and me.
Yeah,
I'll be
I'm in the same boat. I'm having a horrible year
rally.
in fantasy.
Yeah, I'll rally.
Jeff is in
Sorry.
11th place at 4 wins and 8 losses.
Damn, Jeff, I didn't even realize you were that low, bro. Even in
Horrible.
ours, you already got eliminated from playoffs.
Horrible year.
He's technically not even eliminated from ours yet. Marco is. That's for
It's
damn
kind of
sure.
impressive, actually.
Yeah, I've been eliminated.
Mikey and Lewis are also at 4 and 8. So they're all tied technically for 9th, but I think the points force is the difference. James is in 8th with 5 and 7. R2D2 is at 7th place with 6 and 6.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Kevin's in 6th
Thank you.
place with also 6 and 6 record, and he has no more waiver money. He's out, so
Oh,
that should
boy
be
spent
fun.
all his money.
Trey
Broke.
and Tony are both 7 and 5. Trey's in 4th place because he has about 80 more points than
Yeah.
Tony does. And then I just beat Trey last week, so now I'm in 3rd place with 8 and 4.
Bullshit.
One more win gets me officially into the playoffs. At 9
There
and
you
3, our champion Brian is in 2nd place, and our cocky professor, the man with no fucking internet, is at 1st place with 10 and 2.
Imagine what I could do with the internet. Yeah, that one, huh? First place. If I had internet, we'd be blowing
Can you just
out of the
move
water.
closer somewhere we can get fucking actual internet signal? For the love of God.
Fuck the city.
You don't have to move
Starlink.
into the city, just a little
Bro,
closer.
get Starlink, dude. Tesla.
Doesn't come out here, bro. We're fucking over
In the
here.
middle
We
of
still
bumfuck
have
nowhere.
the
Bro, just get a piece of corn, bro. Fucking stick it up in the air, dude. See if you get signal, dude. Anyways, are we done?
Yes, that's it. That's all I have for tonight. I know you want to go to sleep, Marco. But anyways,
Yeah.
guys, thank you for watching either live on demand or listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you're listening to us. Leave a like, share, subscribe. All that helps
Oh,
us.
Jeff, down.
For the love of God, like, share, and subscribe. That's all I gotta say. But follow us at Puro Pinche
Small
Sports
trick.
on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, who still holds us down. Pinche Sports Pod on X/Twitter. For Trigger Trey Parker, the Professor, Alex, Marco. Just Marco. That's all you are. You're just Marco. And Jeffrey D. Lujan, Dildo Dog.
The D is for
Diggity.
dog.
Dildo dog? The fuck?
Little Dog. I am Jose Garza. We are Puro Pinche Sports, and we are out.
Nice. All right,
Alex-
bros. See y'all
Alex,
later.
quit tackling
All right.
people on fucking turkey bowls.